Alex Cardinale. Entertainment all day. Click, dive deep. Color on the screen runs free. Tropical fins, bright reef. Whole ocean.
I'm Alex Cardinale, and I personally would like to welcome you to this presentation of the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy this special live stream right here on A.C.E. A.C.E.
Welcome to Turning Point with Alex Cardinale. Discover the stories behind the headlines. Join us on an enlightening journey as we delve into the world of tragedies and natural disasters that have shaped history in the United States and around the globe. Our show, Turning Point with Alex Cardinale, is here to uncover what caused these impactful events. What valuable lessons can we learn from them? How do they continue to influence our world today? Don't miss out. Stay informed and inspired as we explore the unexpected turning points that define our world. Whether you're a history buff, a lifelong learner, or simply curious, there's something for everyone. Let's turn these moments of adversity into opportunities for growth and understanding. Together, we can transform knowledge into action. And now, please welcome your host Alex Cardinale live from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Turning Point, where I, Alex Cardinale, talk about tragedies and natural disasters that shocked America and all around the world. Tonight on Turning Point, we're going to talk about some of the deadliest mass shootings in United States history. We're going to talk about school shootings. We're going to talk about a shooting at a nightclub, a shooting at McDonald's, and I also have some interesting topics that we're going to talk about. I'm going to debate whether or not teachers should be allowed to have firearms. I'm going to tell you things you should know about mass shootings, what you should do if you find yourself in a mass shooting, and more. This is going to be a very informal show, but also a very good one. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, feel free to post your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching. So let's get started. And we're going to get started by learning what we should know about mass shootings. So here's what to know about mass shootings. Now, mass shootings are complex events defined and tracked differently by various organizations, though they generally involve incidents where multiple people are shot in a short time frame. Differing definitions. The term mass shooting has no single legal definition, which leads to widely varying statistics. Congressional definition: a multiple homicide incident in which 3 or more victims are killed with a firearm in one event. FBI focus often tracks active shooter incidents where an individual is actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a populated area. Gun Violence Archive defines it more broadly as an incident where 4 or more people are shot, wounded, or killed, not including the shooter. Mass public shootings often specifically refers to incidents in public places like malls or schools where victims are selected somewhat indiscriminately, excluding gang violence or domestic disputes. Common myths versus facts when it comes to mass shootings. Mental health. While many shooters struggle with mental well-being, the majority have not been diagnosed with a severe mental illness. Profiling based on mental health is generally considered an ineffective prevention tool. Frequency. While highly publicized rampage shootings are becoming more frequent and lethal, they account for less than 1% of annual firearm deaths in the United States of America. Domestic violence. In recent years, mass shootings involving family members in private homes have actually outnumbered public mass shootings 2 to 1. Warning signs and leakage. Research shows mass shooters rarely just snap. They typically plan their attacks and exhibit concerning behaviors beforehand. Leakage. Many perpetrators communicate their plan in advance via social media, text, or in person. Warning signs. In about 32% of cases with 4 or more fatalities, the shooter exhibited dangerous warning signs before the event. Crisis. Most school shooters are in a noticeable state of crisis or are actively suicidal before the attack. Trends and lethality. Weapon type. Handguns are the most common weapon used. However, incidents involving assault weapons or high capacity magazines result in significantly higher casualty rates, often more than twice as many fatalities. Recent highs. The number of incidents peaked in 2021, with 686 reported by the Gun Violence Association, before seeing a slight decline in 2024. Motivations. Common themes among the deadliest incidents include hate-fueled ideologies, misogyny, and racism. Prevention resources. If you notice someone exhibiting warning signs, intervention is possible. Crisis support. The Disaster Distress Helpline, 1-800-985-5990, provides 24/7 counseling. Reporting. Many thwarted attacks were prevented by peers or family reporting leakage to authorities. Secure storage. Approximately 80% of school shooters obtain their weapon from a family member's home, highlighting the importance of secure firearm storage. And that is some great information to get us started. What to know about mass shootings. Well, right now we're going to talk about what to do if you ever find yourself in a mass shooting. I hope that none of my viewers ever find themselves in a mass shooting, and I hope I never find myself in a mass shooting. But if you do, here is what you do to survive. If caught in a mass shooting, immediately follow the run, hide, fight protocol recommended by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Seconds matter, so you must quickly decide the most reasonable way to protect your life. Run. Evacuate if possible. Getting away from the shooter is the top priority. Have a escape route. Move quickly and put as much distance between yourself and the threat as possible. Leave belongings behind. Do not stop to gather your things. Your life is precious. Your belongings are not. You can always get more belongings. Go even if others won't. Encourage others to follow, but do not wait if they refuse. Your goal is to get out alive, so don't stay there if other people won't leave. You leave to save your life. Help others safely. Warn people as you escape and prevent them from entering the dangerous area. Call 911. Only call once you are in a safe location. Hide. Hide if you cannot escape. Find a secure location where the shooter is less likely to see or find you. Lock and barricade. Lock the door and block it with heavy furniture. Silence your devices. Completely silence your cell phone, including the vibration setting. Turn off lights. Turn off any source of noise and stay out of view of windows. Stay out of range. Hide behind solid objects that offer protection if shots are fired in your direction. Example, heavy desks or cabinets. Fight only as a last resort. Commit to this action only if your life is in imminent danger and you cannot escape. Act aggressively. Use maximum physical aggression to incapacitate the shooter. Improvise weapons. Use everyday objects like fire extinguishers, chairs, or scissors. Work as a team. If you are with others, coordinate an ambush to overwhelm the attacker. Commit to your actions. Once you start, do not stop until the threat is neutralized. When law enforcement arrives, law enforcement's primary objective is to stop the shooter, and they may pass injured people to do so. Keep hands visible. Raise your hands with fingers spread and keep them empty. Follow all orders. Remain calm and do exactly as the officers instruct. Avoid sudden movements. Do not run towards officers or scream. Provide information. If you can, tell officers the shooter's location, physical description, and type of weapon used. And that is what you do if you ever find yourself caught in a mass shooting. Your first option should always be run. If you can't run, hide. Find a nice place to hide. And if you can't hide, if there is an active threat in front of you, fight. Use whatever weapon you can to fight for your life. That is what you do in a mass shooting. So, I've always wondered to myself, what could possibly drive someone to commit multiple homicides? What can possibly drive someone to shoot at people he doesn't know? In other words, what causes mass shootings? Let's find out right now. What causes someone to commit a mass shooting? Now, research identifies that there is not a single cause, but rather a combination of psychological, social, and situational factors that lead to a mass shooting. Experts, including those from the Violence Project and the FBI, emphasize that these events are often the end of a long pathway to violence. Personal crisis and suicidality. Active crisis. Nearly all mass shooters, over 80%, are in a noticeable state of crisis in the weeks or months leading up to the attack. Suicide intent. A high percentage of mass shooters, up to 72%, are actively suicidal. For K to 12, from kindergarten to 12th grade school shooters, this number rises to over 90%. The act is often viewed as a final act or suicide by cop. Childhood trauma. A significant number of perpetrators, roughly 31 to 42%, have experienced severe childhood trauma, such as physical abuse, parental suicide, or domestic violence. Deep-seated grievances. Injustice collection. Many shooters are described as injustice collectors, individuals who store up every perceived slight, rejection, or failure, and they use that slight, rejection, or failure in the mass shooting to help them kill people. Specific grudges. Motives often stem from personal grievances related to romantic rejection, workplace disputes, or social isolation. A grudge could be the cause of a mass shooting. Research indicates 57.8% of incidents are driven by extreme emotional upset following adverse life events. Seeking fame. Some shooters are motivated by a desire for global recognition or notoriety, viewing the shooting as a shortcut to stardom. Fame-seeking shooters often plan more lethal attacks to surpass previous records. Copycat effect. Approximately 1 in 5 shooters, 21.6%, study past mass shooters, sometimes finding inspiration or validation for their beliefs in previous attacks. Ideological radicalization. Hate-fueled ideologies, including racism, misogyny, and white supremacism, serve as primary drivers for many public attacks. Social and economic factors. Social isolation. Isolation acts as a crisis multiplier, removing the social buffers that might otherwise help an individual cope with stress. Socially isolated shooters are more likely to have a history of psychiatric hospitalization and interest in past violence. Economic conditions. Recent studies suggest a significant link between higher poverty rates and increased mass shooting occurrences, suggesting that economic hardship and income inequality play a role. The role of mental illness. While often cited, research clarifies that psychosis is a primary factor in only about 10% of cases. Most perpetrators do not have a diagnosis of severe mental illness. Instead, subacute emotional disturbances and poor coping skills are more predictive of mass violence. So that is what causes mass shooting. It is a factor of things. And now we're going to talk about what we can learn from mass shootings, and then we'll get into some of America's most infamous mass shootings. So here is what we can learn from mass shootings. Research and data from organizations like the FBI and the Violence Project have revealed critical patterns about why mass shootings happen and how they can be prevented. Prevention is possible through intervention. Perhaps the most significant lesson is that mass shooters rarely just snap. FBI data shows they typically go through a long period of planning and preparation. About 47 to 80% of shooters tell someone about their plans beforehand. Thwarted attacks are most often prevented because a friend or family member reported these leaks. Signs of crisis. Over 80% of mass shooters show observable warning signs before an attack, such as rapid mood swings, social isolation, or paranoia. This crisis phase is a critical window for community-led intervention. Social isolation. Research indicates social isolation acts as a crisis multiplier, allowing a person's grievances to escalate without the checks provided by social circles. Shared histories of perpetrators. Large-scale database analysis has identified common life trajectories among public shooters. The insider threat. Most shooters, especially in schools, are insiders, current or former students or employees, not random strangers. Trauma backgrounds. A significant portion of shooters have histories of severe childhood trauma, including physical abuse or parental suicide. Mass shootings are frequently viewed by the perpetrator as a final act. Between 92% and 100% of school shooters were found to be suicidal before or during the event. The ripple effects of trauma is another thing we can learn. The impact of a mass shooting extends far beyond the immediate physical victims. Collective trauma. When demographic groups such as racial or religious minorities are targeted, people in these communities nationwide experience increased psychological distress, even if they were not physically present. Long-term community harm. Communities and schools that experience these events often see long-term drops in student enrollment, lower test scores, and increased absenteeism. Public health impacts. Research shows links between community exposure to mass shootings and subsequent health issues, including higher rates of antidepressant use and even increased infant mortality in affected areas. Trends and lethality factors. Evolving frequency. While public mass killings reportedly hit a 20-year low last year in 2025, active shooter incidents had been on a steady upward trend for the previous 2 decades. The use of assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines has risen, and these incidents are significantly more lethal, resulting in twice as many injuries and fatalities on average. The copycat effect is real. Approximately 26% of shooters studied previous mass violence to gain inspiration or notoriety. And that is what we can learn from mass shootings. And now it is actually time to talk about mass shootings. Right now, we are going to talk about some of the most infamous mass shootings in United States history. Now, mass shootings in American history are often categorized as modern, starting with the 1966 University of Texas Tower shooting, or historical, which includes large-scale massacres often driven by racial or political violence. The deadliest modern mass shootings. Modern incidents are generally categorized by lone perpetrators in public spaces. As of 2026, the deadliest mass shootings include the Las Vegas Strip in 2017. 60 people were killed, and this was the deadliest lone shooter incident fired from a hotel onto a concert crowd. Pulse Nightclub, Orlando, Florida, 2016. 49 people were killed, and they targeted an LGBTQ plus nightclub during Latin Night. Virginia Tech, 2007. 32 people were killed, and this was the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history. Sandy Hook Elementary School, Newtown, Connecticut. This happened in 2012, and 27 victims. Victims were primarily 6 and 7-year-old children. How sad is that? Sutherland Springs Church, Sutherland Springs, Texas. This happened in 2017, and this was 26 deaths, 26 fatalities. Deadliest shooting at a place of worship. Luby's Cafeteria, Killen, Texas. 1991, 23 people died. A gunman crashed his truck into the restaurant before opening fire. El Paso Walmart, El Paso, Texas. 2019, 23 people died, and this was investigated as a domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Latinos. San Ysidro McDonald, San Diego, California, 1984. 22 people died, and this led to significant changes in how SWAT teams respond to active shooters. Robb Elementary School, Uvalde, Texas, 2022. 21 people died. It is the deadliest elementary to high school shooting since Sandy Hook. Some shootings are considered infamous not just for their death tolls, but for their lasting impact on law, security, and culture. University of Texas Tower, 1966, often cited as the beginning of the modern era of mass shootings, where a sniper fired from the campus clock tower. Columbine High School, 1999. While 15th on the deadliest list, it became a global byword for school shootings and profoundly changed school secretary and police response protocols. Kent State shootings, 1970, involved the Ohio National Guard firing on unarmed students protesting the Vietnam War, sparking massive national outrage. Edmond Post Office, 1986, an attack by a part-time mail carrier that killed 14 co-workers and popularized the phrase going postal. Aurora Theater shooting, 2012. A gunman opened fire during a midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises, leading to heightened security in entertainment venues. And those are some of America's most infamous mass shootings. Coming up next, we're going to talk about America's most deadliest school shootings. Coming up next, we're going to talk about Columbine, Sandy Hook. We're also going to talk about Parkland shooting and more. Coming up next, we're going to talk about school shootings. But first, we're going to take a programming break to announce some awesome upcoming programs. This coming Saturday, or excuse me, it's not this Saturday, my apologies. Saturday, April 25th. Saturday with Alex Cardinale celebrates 200 episodes. So on Saturday, April 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, join me as we celebrate 200 episodes. No glitches this time. And then on May 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we will be celebrating 4 years of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Any fish keepers that are watching this live stream, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, it is the April 2026 Fish Store Spotlight on Aquatic Wetline, our first Fish Store Spotlight in quite some time. That is taking place tomorrow. And then this weekend, we've got the WrestleMania 42 pre-show airing on Saturday, April 18th, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And we got the WrestleMania recap show taking place Sunday night, this Sunday, April 19th, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And now we're going to hear a word from our flagship program, Saturday with Alex Cardinale. And when I come back, we are going to talk about the deadliest high school shootings.
Celebrate 200 episodes of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Join us for an unforgettable evening as we celebrate the milestone 200th episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale, airing live on Saturday, April 25th, 2026, at 9 p.m. Eastern/6 p.m. Pacific. What to expect? Aqua Alex will introduce new fish from Cindy's Pet Shop and Aquarium Center. Aqua Alex will also showcase stunning new koi from Blackwater Creek Koi Farms. Watch as Alex Cardinale reviews and tries the intriguing Dirty Mountain Dew. Delight in mouth-watering recipes from Chef Alex and more exciting surprises. Don't miss out on this special celebration. Mark your calendars and join the fun on April 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time/6 p.m. Pacific Time. See you there. Celebrate Mother's Weekend with Alex Cardinale. Join us for a special Mother's Saturday with your mom's favorite YouTuber, Alex Cardinale. Event details: Date, Saturday, May 10th, 2026. Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time / 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Where YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment, What to Expect Mother's Day. Recipes, delight in delicious recipes crafted by Chef Alex himself. Mother's Day weekend activities. Discover fun and exciting activities to enjoy with your mom. Dining out tips. Learn the best tips for a memorable dining experience. Reasons to love your mom. Celebrate the special bond with heartwarming reasons to appreciate your mom. Don't miss out on this heartwarming celebration. Mark your calendars and join us on Saturday, May 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time / 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Let's make it a Mother's Day weekend to remember. Get ready for the biggest Saturday with Alex Cardinale of 2026. Join us in celebrating 4 incredible years of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. This special anniversary show is airing live on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time / 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You won't want to miss this spectacular event. What's happening? Karen's return. Relive Saturday with Alex's greatest moments. Aqua Alex gets new fish, Aqua Alex pond update, surprise cameo appearances, and more exciting surprises. Tune in on Saturday, May 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern / 6 p.m. Pacific on the YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment. Mark your calendars and get ready for an unforgettable night. See you there.
All right, welcome back to Turning Point, where tonight we are talking about mass shootings. And now we're going to talk about some of the deadliest school shootings in American history. And let's start with the very first one, Columbine High School shooting. This happened in the 90s, 1990 to be exact. The shooting at Columbine High School on April 20th, 1999 is one of the most infamous massacres in U.S. history and a defining moment in modern school safety. The perpetrators, 2 seniors, Eric Harris, who was 18, and Dylan Keibold, who was 17, attacked their own school in Littleton, Colorado. Primary goal, failed. It was a failed bombing. Their original intent was to commit a massive bombing, not a shooting. They planted propane bombs in the cafeteria, timed to explode during the busiest lunch shift. Had they detonated, the library above would have collapsed, potentially killing hundreds of people. The shooting. When the bombs failed, they opened fire outside and then moved through the school, carrying out most of the killings in the library. In total, they murdered 12 students and 1 teacher before taking their own lives. Note, a 14th victim who was paralyzed during the attack died last year from related complications, leading her death to be ruled a homicide. Key facts and lasting impact. At the time, standard police protocol was to secure the perimeter and wait for SWAT. Because the shooters were inside for 47 minutes before teams entered, the incident led to the active shooter protocol used today, where the first officers on the scene immediately entered to neutralize the threat. The Columbine effect. The massacre inspired dozens of copycat attacks and remains a twisted blueprint for some subsequent shooters. Security changes. It triggered a nationwide shift towards zero tolerance policies, metal detectors, and mandatory lockdown drills. And that is the Columbine High School shooting. Our next school shooting is even sadder because it involves really young victims. Victims as young as 6 and 7 year olds. And of course, I'm talking about Sandy Hook shooting. The mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14th, 2012, in Newtown, Connecticut, is one of the deadliest and most impactful events in U.S. history, particularly because the majority of the victims were young children. The perpetrator, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, killed his mother, Nancy Lanza, in their home before driving to the school. He shot his way through the school's glass entrance at approximately 9:30 in the morning. In less than 5 minutes, he fired 154 rounds using a Bushmaster XM15 E2S semi-automatic rifle. Fatalities. He murdered 20 first grade students, 20 victims ages 6 and 7, and he also murdered 6 adult staff members before committing suicide as police arrived. Heroes. Principal Don Hochsprung and school psychologist Mary Sherlach died while confronting the shooter. Teachers like Victoria Soto save students by hiding them in closets and attempting to misdirect the gunmen. The Sandy Hook shooting is perhaps one of the most saddest in recent memory. And now we're going to talk about the Virginia Tech shooting. The Virginia Tech shooting, ironically, took place today in 2007. So the Virginia Tech shooting took place on April 16th, 2007. It was the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history at the time and remains one of the most studied incidents of mass violence. A 23-year-old senior, Sang Hai Cho, killed 32 people, 27 students, and 5 faculty members, and injured dozens more before committing suicide. The massacre occurred in 2 separate waves on the Blacksburg, Virginia campus. 7:15 a.m. inside West Ambler Johnston Hall. Cho shot and killed a female student and a male resident assistant in their dormitory. Police had initially treated this as an isolated domestic dispute and believed the gunman had fled. 9:01. Between the attacks, Cho mailed a package to NBC News containing a rambling video manifesto and photographs of himself with weapons. 9:45 a.m. Norris Hall. Armed with 2 semi-automatic pistols and hundreds of rounds of ammunition, Cho entered the academic building and chained several main exit doors shut from the inside. He went from room to room for approximately 10 to 11 minutes, firing 174 rounds. Most victims were shot at close range in classrooms. 9:51 a.m. As police breached the building, Cho died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So another coward took his life as police arrived. Well, now we're going to talk about the Parkland shooting, which happened on Valentine's Day in 2018. Now, for me personally, Valentine's Day 2018 was a tragic day for me because one of my dogs, Boomer, was murdered by other dogs, but that's besides the point. Tonight we're talking about Parkland shooting. This happened on Valentine's Day in 2018. Now, the shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on Valentine's Day 2018 is the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history. It is uniquely significant for the massive student-led political movement it ignited. The attack, the perpetrator, Nicholas Cruz, a 19-year-old former student who had been expelled for disciplinary issues. Armed with the legally purchased AR-15 style rifle, Nick Cruz entered Building 12, the freshman building, and opened fire for approximately 6 minutes. He fired 139 shots across 3 floors. Fatalities and injuries. 17 people were killed, 14 students and 3 staff members, and 17 others were wounded. The escape. Cruz dropped his weapon and blended in with fleeing students to escape the campus. He was arrested without incident about 80 minutes later in a nearby neighborhood. And that is the Parkland shooting. Are you enjoying this episode of Turning Point? Great. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to comment your thoughts on these cases that I'm talking about. Be sure to share this on social media. And make sure to subscribe for more awesome tragedy videos. Viewers, do you know a tragedy you want me to discuss? Let me know in the chat or in the comments or email me aquaalexcardinale@icloud.com. And yes, I know I misspelled tragedy. I see it there. But anyway, you know what tragedy you want me to talk about? Let me know in the chat or in the comments or email me aquaalexcardinale@icloud.com. And now we're going to answer a very controversial question. And that question is, let's see, what is it? Is it right here? Here it is. Here is the question. So now we're going to answer a very important question. And that question is, should teachers have firearms? I think so. If teachers have firearms, they can stop potential mass shootings. Now, proponents argue that armed staff can serve as a critical line of defense, particularly when professional law enforcement is minutes away. So here are the pros of teachers being armed. Immediate response. Armed staff could potentially stop a shooter in seconds, whereas police response times can take much longer, especially in rural areas. Deterrence. Some believe that knowing teachers might be armed might make them think twice before targeting a school. Countermeasures. Supporters contend that without weapons, staff had limited options, only to run or hide, which may be unacceptably risky in a confrontation. Now, arguments against arming teachers are this. Critics, including major educational and law enforcement organizations, argue that the practice creates more danger than it prevents. Training disparity. While police receive hundreds of hours of tactical training, many state laws require significantly less. Example, 80 hours in Tennessee as of 2024. Critics argue teachers cannot be expected to maintain law enforcement level proficiency under extreme duress and stress. Risk of manhandling and mishandling. There have been over 70 reported incidents in 5 years involving mishandled guns in schools, such as firearms left in the bathroom or locker rooms where students can find them. But who's leaving guns out for students to find in the first place, right? Police identification. Law enforcement experts worry that arriving officers might mistake an armed teacher for the active shooter in a chaotic scene. School environment. Organizations like the National Education Association argue that arming staff can harm the trusting relationship between students and teachers and increase anxiety for students. So that's the argument. There's a lot of people that are for it and a lot of people that are against it. Myself, I am for teachers having firearms because then teachers are more protected and they're better armed and they can kill a shooter if need be. So I am for teachers having firearms, and I think teachers are responsible. They're not going to have their gun out where students can get it, and they're not going to shoot the students themselves. So viewers, what do you think? Do you think teachers should have firearms, or should they not have firearms? After all these school shootings, I think teachers should have firearms. Sound off in the comments and let me know if you think teachers should have firearms or if they should not have firearms. Well, coming up next here on Turning Point, we're going to talk about some other mass shootings. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Pulse nightclub shooting. We're also going to talk about a McDonald's massacre, and then we'll wrap up the show with a recap of everything we discussed. So get ready to learn about the Pulse nightclub shooting and a McDonald's massacre coming up next in just a few minutes. But first, here is a programming note from Saturday with Alex Cardinale. I'm Alex Cardinale, and I am hereby inviting you to tune in to the historic 200th episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. This time, it will be glitch-free. The 200th Saturday with Alex Cardinale airs live Saturday, April 25th, 2026, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Here is what you can expect on the historic 200th Saturday. Aqua Alex will get new fish from Cindy's Pet Shop and Aquarium Center. Aqua Alex gets new koi and does a koi unboxing from Blackwater Creek Koi Farms. Alex Cardinale will review Dirty Mountain Dew. Karen's of the Week returns for the 200th episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Learn about killer whales and Amazon River dolphins. There's going to be some awesome surprises. Learn about the common pleco and the pink-spotted Washington goby as Aqua Alex's featured fish. There's going to be 3 rounds of Two Truths and a Lie on The Sopranos, WWE Raw, and WWE SmackDown, Yankee Spotlight, and more. Don't miss the historic action-packed 200th Saturday with Alex Cardinale, live Saturday, April 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. See new koi, new fish, the return of Karen's, and plenty of surprises. We'll see you April 25th for the 200th Saturday on A.C.E. I'm Alex Cardinale. I'm the host and founder of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. And I'm proud to tell you, Saturday with Alex Cardinale is now 4 years old. I started Saturday with Alex Cardinale in 2022. And now, in 2026, we celebrate 4 years of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. And we're going to celebrate 4 years with a very big 4th Saturday with Alex Cardinale, which airs live Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And on the 4th Saturday with Alex Cardinale, you can expect plenty of surprises. Will there be surprise cameo appearances? Will there be surprise guests? Tune in to find out. Aqua Alex will get new fish. Aqua Alex will have a pond demonstration. Chef Alex will have some recipe demos. See Chef Alex, Phil Cannolis, and other great recipes. Karen's are back for the 4th anniversary of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. It's the final Seagrass Farms featured fish and a whole lot more. Don't miss 4th, Saturday with Alex Cardinale, Saturday, May 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, A.C.E. Alright, so right now we're going to talk about the Pulse nightclub shooting. So this was actually a very deadly shooting here in Florida. The Pulse nightclub shooting was a mass shooting, an act of domestic terrorism that occurred on June 12, 2016 in Orlando, Florida. A single gunman, 29-year-old Omar Mateen, killed 49 people and wounded 58 others at the lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer-friendly venue during its popular Latin night. At the time, it was the deadliest mass shooting by a single shooter in U.S. history and remains the deadliest incident of violence against the lesbian, gay, bisexual, trannies, and queer community in the country. The incident. The attack began at around 2:02 a.m. After an initial gun battle with an off-duty officer and responding units, the shooter retreated into a bathroom, turning the event into a 3-hour hostage standoff. Police breach. At 5:02 a.m., SWAT teams used a controlled explosion and an armored vehicle to breach the building's wall. Mateen was killed in the subsequent shootout with police. Motive. During 911 calls from the club, Mateen pledged allegiance to the leader of ISIS, the leader of ISIS, and stated the attack was retaliation for U.S. airstrikes in Iraq and Syria. While his father suggested homophobia as a motive, subsequent investigations found he chose the club at the last minute based on a lack of visible security rather than its status as a gay bar. And my thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims that were killed in the Pulse nightclub shooting. And now we're going to talk about the McDonald's massacre, which happened a long time ago, but it left a lasting impact. Alright, so here is the McDonald's massacre. The San Ysidro McDonald's massacre occurred on July 18, 1984, in San Diego, California, when a gunman killed 21 people and injured 19 others. At the time, in 1984, it was the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in U.S. history. The incident. The perpetrator, James Haberty, a 41-year-old former security guard who had recently lost his job. The timeline. Haberty entered the restaurant at approximately 3:40 p.m. and began a 77-minute shooting spree. The fatalities. Victims ranged in age from an 8-month-old infant to a 74-year-old. Most victims were of Hispanic or Mexican descent, reflecting the local demographics. A SWAT sniper named Charles Foster fatally shot Haberty from a nearby rooftop at 5:17 p.m. And that is the McDonald's massacre from San Diego, California in 1984. And that is pretty much the episode today. I had a blast talking about America's deadliest mass shootings. I certainly hope you enjoyed this episode. So let's do a quick recap of some of the most important things that I talked about on this episode of Turning Point. Warning signs. In about 32% of cases with 4 or more fatalities, the shooter exhibited dangerous warning signs before the event. Crisis. Most school shooters are in a noticeable state of crisis or are actively suicidal before the attack. If you find yourself in a mass shooting, run. Evacuate if possible. Getting away from the shooter is the top priority. Have an escape route. Move quickly and put as much distance between yourself and the threat as possible. Leave belongings behind. Do not stop to gather your things. Go even if other people won't go, including your friends. Encourage others to follow, but do not wait if they refuse. Help others safely. Warn people as you escape and prevent them from entering the dangerous area. Call 911. Only call once you are in a safe location. Hide. If you cannot escape, hide. Find a secure location where the shooter is less likely to see or find you. Lock and barricade. Lock the door and block it with heavy furniture. Silence your devices. Completely silence your cell phone, including the vibration setting. Turn off lights. Turn off any source of noise and stay out of windows. And stay out of range. Hide behind solid objects and offer protection if shots are fired in your direction. And fight only as a last resort. Commit to this action only if your life is in imminent danger and you cannot escape. Act aggressively. Use maximum physical aggression to incapacitate the shooter. Improvise weapons. Use everyday objects like fire extinguishers, chairs, or scissors. Work as a team. If you are with others, coordinate an ambush to overwhelm the attacker. And commit to your actions. Once you start, do not stop until the threat is neutralized. And when law enforcement arrives, law enforcement's primary objective is to stop the shooter, and they may pass injured people to do so. Keep your hands visible. Raise your hands with your fingers spread and keep them empty. Follow all orders. Remain calm and do exactly as the officers instruct. Avoid sudden movements. Do not run towards officers or scream. And provide information to the officers. If you can, tell officers the shooter's location, physical description, and type of weapons. And also tonight we talked about deadly school shootings like Sandy Hook, Parkland, Virginia Tech, and we also talked about the Pulse nightclub shooting and the McDonald's massacre. This has been an episode of Turning Point with me, Alex Cardinale, where we cover any and everything that happened in the U.S. and the world that destroyed a country. Whether a tragedy or a natural disaster, I cover it all. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, please smash that like button. Thank you guys for watching. On episode 3 of Turning Point, we're going to talk about hurricanes. Since it is officially hurricane season, let's talk about some of the deadliest hurricanes that hit the United States of America. Get ready to learn about Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Sandy and all the devastation that it caused. With that being said, stay safe, everyone. Thank you for watching Turning Point, and I will see you next time when we talk about hurricanes. Good night from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I, Alex Cardinale, would like to say thank you for watching this live stream on the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. I personally hope you enjoyed the live stream and the video. If you did enjoy the live stream, please smash that like button and please share this video on social media so that your friends and family can enjoy it as well. If you are a first-time viewer or new to my YouTube channel, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button and getting a notification bell for notifications when I go live next or when I upload a video. I highly recommend subscribing so you're a member of the ACE community. Thank you for watching ACE.